Hello again, friends, and welcome to another fine edition of 151. My name is Adam, and I'm joined by a man who thinks that Megatron's arm cannon sounds kind of like a sexual device.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Justin.
Thank you very much.
We are 151. You can listen to us on Podbean and iTunes. We're also on YouTube. We hope that you subscribe to all of those channels. And we hope that you like and follow and share us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, all at 151 the show. Yes. Makes it easy. I always was wondering when I started those, like, should I just do 151, but it's like, nobody really knows what that's going to mean.
Yeah.
So 151 the show.
Yeah.
That's what it turns into.
Yep.
So today on the show, we are actually, when we're recording this, we're about midway through summer.
2017.
2017. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is what I keep you around for,
Yep.
is to keep that kind of stuff going.
We're mid-July.
We're
Kind of hit a lull in anything new coming out. I mean, besides SpiderMan.
Yeah, which when you're listening to this, that'll be a couple weeks ago at least.
At least.
Hopefully Justin has seen it by then.
Hopefully, because I'm still the loser who hasn't seen it as of record date.
By the way, just real quick, I think I mentioned it when we actually were doing the Marvel show a few weeks back. The post-credit scene for SpiderMan Homecoming is the best one that there's ever been.
We didn't talk about it on air. You told me about it afterwards. But
it's Captain America making fun of the fact that you sat in the theater through the credits to watch nothing.
Yeah.
And it's such a laugh out of it.
Glorious.
By the way, there was something that happened in Spider-Man Homecoming, and I can't remember what part of the movie it was, but there was a lady that started laughing, and I leaned over to my wife and I go, she really thinks that part is funny. And she just went on and kept laughing and laughing.
Was it the same lady that was sitting next to us during Guardians 1 and Guardians 2 that was screaming with laughter?
Maybe. It possibly could have been, because it does. Yeah, now that you say that, it kind of reminds me of that.
There you go.
So, today on the show, we are actually going to go down the realm of what's coming out this fall, what we're kind of excited about. Justin's got a whole list that he wrote down a little bit ago, and we're just going to kind of talk about it, some of the stuff that we've seen trailers for.
Some stuff we've got look forward to upcoming.
Yeah. Because like he said, it's... I mean, summer's coming to an end here.
Yeah.
I mean, 2017 is almost... like, we're half done with it at this point.
4 months from now, we're talking about past Halloween. We're talking about into, looking forward to Thanksgiving plans.
So, all right, where do you want to start with this? Do you want to start with movies or TV, or do you want to bounce back and forth?
I just kind of did a hodgepodge by season.
Okay.
Of what we have, here over the summer. Obviously, again, by the time this actually hits, we'll be even further into summer.
Yeah.
And some of this may be even older yet, but. Just a few things kind of clean up on stuff that I always want to talk about. We necessarily didn't work into a show somewhere. So this summer we saw Wonder Woman. Killed it at the box office.
I think it's really funny that Wonder Woman came out, and it actually got really good reviews. People seem to like it. You saw an incredible amount of memes of Wonder Woman saving Batman and Superman, which were amazingly funny. And then Marvel puts out Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
And it just crushes it.
Well, Wonder Woman did exactly what, I assumed that all of these should have done. Wonder Woman, they're talking about, we've set a new mark for DC and the rest of it. No. This is where everything should have been.
Yeah.
Because it's freaking Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. It's the DC Holy Trinity. All of these should have been at this level. This is where your game should have been all the way along.
And I really think that DC could have been at that level for a long time if they hadn't have tried to chase Marvel so much. And I know we've talked about this, and I don't want to get sidetracked on it completely this time, but I always go back to if DC would have made, taken some of their best known comics, like, if you did a 3-part movie with Batman, the Nightfall series. Something like that, where you really focus on that comic book. You don't worry about setting up Justice League. You don't worry about setting up the Batman, Superman, or any of these other things. And you make a really good three movie trilogy of Nightfall. And I'm just taking that one as an example.
Yeah.
People would love to see that. And something like that would break into 3 movies pretty well.
Yep.
where you have Batman, fighting all these people. You end it with Bane breaking his back. And then you have the second movie be, Azrael, I want to say, slowly taking over the mantle of Batman and getting, more out of control, more out of control, more out of control. And then the third movie's the wrap-up with, maybe the beginning of it's the fight with Bane and Azrael where he, takes him out. And then you have it, Bruce Wayne coming back as Batman. People would go see that.
Yeah.
And you don't need Wonder Woman in it. You don't need Superman.
No, you could easily do those standalone movies.
Yeah. So, anyways, like I said, I don't want to get too sidetracked on that, but yeah.
Yep. No, I absolutely agree. Powerless. It's a TV show that came out this spring. I kept thinking we'd get to it. I really wanted that to be very successful, and it was not.
What was the dude from Firefly that's in there?
Alan Tudyk.
I really wanted to like it because of him.
Yep.
That show.
And the guy who played Abed in Community, Danny Pudi, was also in it. I really, really, really wanted to like it for no other than those two guys being in it.
And I forget what the girl's name was.
Vanessa Hudgens.
I wanted to like it just because she's hot.
She's pretty.
But that show was so god-awful.
It was far too sitcom-y for even it being a sitcom.
I feel like everybody that ever talked about the DC movies being too dark, and they had like a knob.
Yes.
Like DC had the knob of darkness, and for the movies, it's all the way over.
Yep.
And then they just cranked it as far to the other side as they could for this show, and it was horrible.
I will say that in a classy move, DC and NBC, after the death of Adam West, which I don't think we've addressed on camera.
No.
We lost Adam West a while back now, which turbines to speed, Godspeed, Mr. West. They released the episode of Powerless that he had been in.
Oh, really?
And guest star as I believe the CEO of, or CFO or COO or something of Wayne Enterprises. It was very good, and he was very Adam Westy in it.
Nice. No, we watched, Steph and I, my wife, we watched about 2 episodes of it, and I'm like, this is bad.
I continued to watch it. I mean, even in the bad episodes, they had some small gems of comedy from time to time, but yes, overall, it was a disappointing series. The only highlights were probably Alan Tudyk, and
I didn't even think he was good in it. I like I said, I wanted to like the show because I like him, and I didn't think he was good in it. I think he was way too over the top. I think he was way too, like, trying to play like this weird comical character that wasn't really funny.
It was to a certain extent. He was a one-note joke. And they just kept hammering it.
Yeah, and it never went anywhere, and it's like, okay, this is dumb. I'm moving on with my life. I'm not wasting my time on this garbage. So, what else you got on your list?
I was like I said, I had high hopes for it. I was sad to see it fail.
Yeah, so. And it didn't just fail.
They didn't. They've got like 3 episodes besides the Adam West one that they didn't even air.
Yeah,
they just pulled it.
Yeah.
Zelda: Breath of the Wild. It's not really a summer. I mean, it came out, I think, at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Whenever the Switch did, I think it was a launch title available. But I've been playing it a lot this summer.
Yeah.
That is just a fantastic Zelda game.
Because you talked about this on one of the shows a couple shows ago. I can't remember which one it was, but you not like real in depth, but you definitely sounded like you were really enjoying this game.
I have enjoyed this game more.
You hadn't beat it yet, as I recall,
and I still haven't. I'm actually now at the point where that's all I have to go do is go beat Ganon, and I'm doing side quests. I'm doing some of the run around and get better armor and just sort of building up, because I haven't looked online. I'm not sure what happens at the end game, whether it's one where it actually finishes the game or whether you can go ahead and keep going.
Keep doing the side quests and
stuff.
Yes.
So I assume that you can keep doing the side quests with no issue, but I'm just building it up, I guess, to make that fight a little easier.
I had read about it. The only complaint was the stealth mode isn't that good. And there's some mission or something where you have to sneak around and it's like impossible or something. It's been a while since I read the article, but
it depends on how you're set up, because I've got the stealth armor and the stats on it to where there are like certain insects and whatnot for potions that are generally very skittish. And I can go at my stealth is so high when I'm wearing this stuff that I can run like at a full run and still am stealthy enough to like pick stuff up on the run as I go. So
all right.
That may have just been
maybe, I don't know. I remember reading that it was kind of that they just said it was kind of clunky, and I don't know.
Not that I've noticed so far.
You crossing off as we go?
I am crossing off as we go. I'm trying to be organized for a change.
That's a nice change of pace you got there.
Right.
So Breath of the Wind.
Good.
Go buy it.
Go buy
it.
If you've got a Wii U, it's still available for the Wii U. There's really very graphical difference from what I understand. It's just a fun game.
Speaking of Nintendo, and this isn't something we covered. I know I put it up on the Facebook page, but they're going to release the Super Nintendo platform with the 30 or so games in it, and Star Fox 2 is going to be a part of that. And I'll be damned if they're not going to put Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past on there.
That'll be very much a when they open it up for pre-orders, you're going to have a couple hours to get it pre-ordered, or you're not going to get one.
Oh, I have no doubt that if I order this or whatever, that it's going to be a while before I get to play it. But this is one thing I'm buying.
Yeah, I think
and
I am too.
Whether the wife wants me to or not, it's happening.
I think I am too.
Yep. I mean, this is one where it's like, no, this is happening. We're buying this because there's so many games on that platform that I love. Mm-hmm. And just to get a chance to play Star Fox 2 is going to be awesome.
Well, like we covered in the video game show, I never had a Super Nintendo, so this is going to be my first opportunity to actually play some of these games for the first time.
Yeah.
So I can't.
Did you ever play Link to the Past?
Nope.
It's really good. It really is. But I don't want to get too sidetracked, so I don't want this to be the Zelda show.
Well, it easily could be.
Yeah. Which, by the way, how come we've never gotten a movie of Zelda or a TV series? Like, I know that
had the cartoon.
Well, yeah, but the cartoon was
in the
Nintendo
awful. Power Hour.
Yeah. No, I remember it. But think about this for a second. If you're going to, especially when Game of Thrones started doing well, and then you saw some of these production companies and stuff, they started eating up, like King Killer Chronicle. Yep. They did that. Shannara with MTV.
Yep. Because Nintendo has never licensed any of these. The last time they did was the Mario Brothers movie, and we saw how that turned out.
But don't you think now, could be a time... I actually think Legend of Zelda would work better as a TV series than a movie. I mean, that's a debate for another time, but... I'm just really surprised that we still haven't seen that.
I think they're just very, very protective of their intellectual property, especially after the Super Mario Brothers thing.
Yeah. No, I agree, but I'm surprised that we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age.
Yeah. Honestly, if they just wrote it like a game script and, just animated all the cutscenes in a way that, logically made it work, you'd have a pretty decent, like direct release, VOD movie.
Yeah, something. I don't know what exactly it would be, and that hell, that could almost be a show at some point. How would you make Legend of Zelda into put it on a screen, either TV or movie, and maybe we can do that sometime down the road. But what else is on? What else coming up this fall?
Well, I was still had a couple things here in summer. American Gods premiered.
What channel was that on?
Stars.
Okay, that's why
it was gonna be HBO. HBO said we can't do this right. We're gonna pass on it. Because it was in the lineup, right after Westworld. They were going to work on American Gods.
Which Westworld doesn't have another season for like another year.
Another year, because they rushed out the first one, and then they said, okay, we have nothing for season 2. We have to start it from scratch. Because they had like all 12 scripts written and whatnot when HBO greenlighted it, and they said, hey, we want this out as quick as possible. Yeah. Then they had to produce season 1, and now they have to go back and start with season 2 pretty much from scratch. So,
What else?
American Gods. If you haven't seen that, that's a Neil Gaiman book that they're splitting and stretching. It was a little hit and miss for me the first season, but so is the book. So that's not too terribly surprising.
As much as I've seen about it, the only thing I've seen is pretty much trailer here and there.
Yeah.
And really, I couldn't tell you anything about the trailer right now because it's been a while.
Yep.
So, and we don't have stars, so.
Yeah, it's got Ian McShane in it, which he's always entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Last thing on this summer / is still circulating this summer, John Wick 2. It just doesn't get much better as a movie series than John Wick and John Wick 2.
That came out in like February, right?
Yeah, I think so.
February, and then what the summer news about it was that they want to turn part of that in. They want to use that world, that universe, and make a TV series called The Continental.
Yep, and for those of you who don't know, The Continental is a basically holy ground hotel in that universe where if you are in the business, you can stay. There's no business conducted on the grounds of the Continental. It's the sacrosanct rule. So I actually, you know what? At first I was kind of like, I don't know if this is a great idea or not. It seems like we're stretching it out a little bit. But after you see John Wick 2 and you start to see a little bit more about the Continental, part of me is like, yeah, this might work. This might be okay. I think it might be okay. I think as long as I think it works better as an abbreviated, like a 13 episode, not like a full 26 run season or something like that. Because they established that there's a Continental New York and there's probably a Continental LA and a Continental Rome. You could set small arcs in each one of these with almost even a revolving cast of characters.
Yeah. Kind of like True Detective.
Kind of, yeah.
But you use the Continental as the base
as the framework.
Okay. Yeah, so, there's a lot of ways that you can go with this show.
Yeah.
I think you could even do the history of the Continental, because look at its place in the movie. I mean, how did it get to be such holy ground?
You could set one back in the 40s or the 50s and do a small arc, historical arc there too. That'd be easy.
Or all the different hitmen and hitwomen and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
I'm kind of excited about that. I'll watch it.
I'm definitely.
Do you remember what channel it's going to be on?
I don't think they've secured a release.
They just said we want to make this show.
We just want to make it.
It'd be cool if it was on a Netflix or something. Just so you got more of the violence and more of the.
If they water it down, they're gonna make it. They're gonna kill it. So
it'll be like Powerless.
Yeah, exactly. Just real quick though, with John Wick and John Wick 2, those are such good movies that I no longer see Ted when I look at Keanu Reeves. He is John Wick to me now.
Really?
Yeah. That to me is his defining role at this point. And if you ever get a chance to go on YouTube or something like that and look at some of his training videos for John Wick 2, that dude,
he is amazing with a firearm.
Yeah, he is really done his homework there.
That the speed course one he does when he's, how many guns does he have on? Because he used
3 or 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it ends up with the pistol, right? Yeah. So no, it
it's
really
good
is.
stuff. It's good stuff, and he really did the work on this one.
Yeah.
So,
all right, what else?
Okay,
moving on.
Moving to this fall.
Okay.
The one I'm probably the most excited about and yet have the most trepidation about is the Orval.
Yeah.
Which, for those of you who don't know, it's a Seth MacFarlane show. I'll pause briefly while you go to look at the trailer and then come back. Okay, now that you've seen that. Basically, it is Star Trek told from a comedic view, and in fact, honestly, of the two sci-fi shows set on a spaceship this fall, it looks more Star Trek than Star Trek does.
Yeah, I would agree.
Just with sort of a funny, bent to it, and
I'm surprised that they haven't done a show like this beforehand.
Well, they've done Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, but that was a movie.
And I think this is going to be a little more, slapstick, over your face, more Seth Farland-esque than far and away what Galaxy Quest was. Galaxy Quest was funny.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was also sort of legitimate. I mean, it was also sort of, I
mean, this isn't like...
I still wanted to put it on my best list of Star Trek movies when we did that show, because it's so good. This is going to be, I think, more, I hate to say, Family Guy-esque.
Yeah.
And that's why I have some trepidation about it.
Yeah, this show could... I think this show will have good parts to it. And if they... Oh, God. I don't even want to talk about it. No, this show, I think it's going to be one of those things that if it tries to stay funny, I think it'll be okay. But when it starts getting into the moving past funny and almost ridiculous, is when it's going to have problems. Like, you take the trailer when he's talking to the one guy, to the one alien, he says, "Oh, so your species only urinates once a year." Oh, man, I'm up 3 times a night.
Yes.
I think if it stays in that area...
If they exploit those differences, like we talked a couple weeks ago with Brian about no bathrooms on the Enterprise, if you point out that stuff and lampoon that stuff a little bit, it'll be fine.
And the other...
if it's just random dick jokes because it's Seth MacFarlane, it's not going to work.
But I think if you were going to get anybody to do this series, Seth MacFarlane is a good choice because he has a history with Star Trek.
He does. He was in Enterprise. I mean, he's been a fan. He knows it's cold.
Yeah, he, Enterprise, he has the tight relationship with Patrick Stewart.
Which it would be really, really funny for Patrick Stewart to guest on the Orval.
Which, that may happen.
That'd be really cool.
I'll put it this way. If Patrick Stewart made a cameo or something on that show, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Or, quite frankly, any of the cast. I mean, he's had them all on Family Guy. He's got a pretty good relationship, so...
But I'm excited about it, but like you said, I'm kind of scared as to what's going to happen.
The other reason that I have a little bit of trepidation is this, and this was something I found during my research for the rest of this. So, since in the last 10 years, this is the list of shows that the science fiction shows that Fox has canceled in season 1.
Oh, no.
Second Chance, Minority Report, Almost Human, which was a great show with Carl Urban in it, by the way.
That was the Android one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Where he had to partner with the Android. Alcatraz, Terra Nova, Past Life. Season 2 in the same amount of time. Wayward Pines, Touch, Human Target, Dollhouse, and Terminator This Era, Connor Chronicles. And that's basically every sci-fi show that they've had on in the last 10 years. If you're Sci-Fi and you're on Fox, you're pretty much screwed. If we go clear
Unless
back...
you're X-Files.
Unless you're X-Files. Now, if we go clear back to 1989, we're going to put this under the list of short-lived sci-fi. Firefly, Lone Gunman, Freaky Links, which I've never heard of, Harsh Realm, The Visitor, Space Above and Beyond, which was a great show, VR5, which was not a great show, Mantis, Briscoe County Jr., which was a great show.
I remember Briscoe County Jr.
And was the first sci-fi western ahead of Firefly.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to see all 24 episodes sometime, I've got them.
Okay.
And Alien Nation. Sci-fi does not have a good history on Fox.
Which is weird.
So I'm a little bit, the last thing that I want to do is really like this show and have it canceled. So... But it's probably going to happen, let's face it.
All right. Orville, check.
Yep.
What's next?
Inhumans. It looks
Which we kind of got into with Ryan a couple weeks ago.
It looks like
when he was on the show.
It looks like a craptacular just show.
What? That's pretty much it. But why does Marvel have such a hard time trying to do it? Is it because, and this is kind of my thought behind it, is it because they're trying to have it associated with the MCU, their TV stuff? Because
I think it's the lack of association with the MCU that hurts them more than anything else. It's inconsequential. There's no stakes. It's not going to be involved. I mean, if I quit watching Agents of Shield after season like 2, like halfway through season 2.
Yeah, their seasons work out weird. It's hard to tell where they begin and where they end.
I quit after I realized that during the whole run-up of Winter Soldier, how this was all supposed to be intertwined and make a difference and gone back and forth, that it didn't matter, that was all a lie. Yeah. I quit. And it's made no difference whatsoever.
We still watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but in all reality, they have a good to great episode about every 5 episodes. Mm-hmm. Where they really have. There is one episode where one of the girl scientists, and I can't think of her name, I think it's Gemma, that's it, on the show. She gets stranded on an alien world.
Okay.
And the show is all about her on this alien world.
Okay.
And it's pretty much just her and this other guy, and that's all the show's about. And it's one of the best episodes of TV I've ever seen. They did it really, really well. Mm-hmm. But then the 4 after that or so are just horrible.
Yeah.
They're just awful episodes. And I always have this thought about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I know we started out with Inhumans, but we're getting there. That Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. always has a great idea of what they want to do, like when they had Ghost Rider in it. Mm-hmm. And then they get into it, and they don't know exactly what they want to be.
Because they have to fill 26 hours of TV to make that full season. So what should be hey, let's do this in 3 episodes, move it along, the timing will be good, let's tell the story, but we need to stretch it for 6.
It's just, I don't know.
That's
man.
how I felt when I quit watching.
Yeah. And you know, do you include the Netflix stuff in there?
No.
Because that stuff, the last time we talked about anything Netflix related, I was on Luke Cage. I made it into 3 episodes of Luke Cage, and I gave up on it.
Really?
Because I thought it was boring. And really?
Yeah, I would give you that it's probably the slowest paced of any of them.
And I'm not gonna waste my time on Iron Fist. I'll give Defenders a chance when it comes out.
And that's upcoming on the list. That I think now that again we've told the backstories.
Yeah.
We can just get into it. Yeah. I think it'll be better.
But I could even say that the other shows, the Jessica Jones and Daredevil 1 and 2. Seasons 1 and 2, mm-hmm. I could even make an argument that those are boring, that they're too long, that they're just too. I don't know. That I could quit that show and not feel bad about it.
Yeah.
You know.
There is some of that, yeah.
So, but getting back to the Inhumans, when that trailer came out, I just thought this looks dumb.
There's no way in hell you're gonna get me to pay to go see it in IMAX, but. I think Ryan was right. I think because they don't have the X-Men that they're trying to.
They need another group.
Yes, that they're trying to make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
So
I would agree with that, but I mean, it just. And what worries me about it, and tell me what you think here, but when you watch it, okay, it's really bad acting. Mm-hmm. It's over the top, kind of other stuff, which surprises me because they got the one dude from Game of Thrones. Ramsay Bolton, mm-hmm. That character. He's not Ramsay Bolton. It'd be interesting if he was.
Yes.
But, you know, they show all this stuff, but they don't show any of the special effects. Maybe 1 or 2 in that dog.
Yeah.
That worries me.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Medusa's hair yet, which means they haven't figured out how to make that look good yet.
Or, you know, like on some of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff, some of the stuff looks fairly hokey just because it's a TV series.
It's a TV series.
So... They
don't have 6 months of post production per episode with huge budgets.
So I'm worried about this. I might watch an episode of it, but I can't. If I'm going basically off the trailer, and you know what, trailer have been proved me wrong before, like Star Trek Beyond.
Yep.
It could be a great show, but it is not looking like it. It is, and it just, I can't believe that Marvel can do something so right with their movies and their cinematic universe that they can't make the TV stuff work.
Yep.
And make it work well. Because they wanted to do, because I know they wanted to do Inhumans as a movie, but then they got Spider-Man and they're like, screw this.
Exactly.
And then they wanted to do that other TV show that was kind of in the vein of Powerless. Mm-hmm. That was going to be Damage Control.
Yep.
And it was going to be just them going around and cleaning stuff up, but I think that's been shelved, and they kind of used that idea.
I would say they tooled that into Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, we've got time for one more of these.
Okay.
And I think I know which one you want to do.
FXX.
Oh, you want to do Deadpool?
I do.
I thought you were going to do Discovery because we've never talked about it. Okay, two more. How about that?
Okay. We'll get through Deadpool real quick. FXX is going to come out with an animated Deadpool series.
Yeah.
I think probably won't be this fall. I think it'll actually be into 2018. But it is upcoming. I think as long as it's like Archer-esque,
okay.
I think it'll be fine. I think with some of the stuff they've gotten away with on Archer, that FXX is going to be a good place for it.
Yeah.
I just it's going to be such a wild card. It's either going to be the best thing ever, or it's going to be complete and total crap.
Yeah, because they've tried, and I don't know if it's FXX, but there have been attempts to make some of these really good movies into, and don't get me wrong, Deadpool's been in animated series before. He was in the Spider-Man and all that, and it's just okay.
Yeah,
he's just insane in those. He's not fun.
Oh, I don't know. Some of the Spider-Man stuff. With him giggling at booby traps and making people unalive instead of saying murder.
But and I lost my point.
It'll either be good or it'll be bad.
No, what I was going to say is I've taken some of these movies, turned them into, like they did with Spaceballs, where they turned it into a cartoon, and it just wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
It didn't have any of the magic of the movie. It didn't have any magic of the character. It wasn't good.
Yep.
So
the last one, and you touched on it here, Star Trek Discovery.
Finally got the trailer.
The
actual trailer, not just, hey, here's the ship going out of space dock.
Which I think it's funny, in the actual trailer that we saw barely anything of the USS Discovery.
Well, there's a couple fan theories and theories out there about that, why we didn't see it.
Because it still looks like...
That might be part of it. I actually put a poll up on the Twitter account about what was better looking, the Abrams Enterprise or Discovery. Because I almost like Discovery better than Abrams Enterprise.
Oh, no, I like Abrams Enterprise way better.
But no, there's a theory out there that ship that they show in the trailer is like either severely battle damaged and they have to essentially rebuild it, and it becomes Discovery. They like rechristen it or something, or something along those lines with the Klingon stuff. But I'm worried about this show. I really am.
I think one, they keep saying it's set in the prime timeline, but it looks, they've made it look like the Abrams Trek,
which
to a certain extent, okay, you've updated what you can show on TV. I get that.
You have better special effects, better sets, all of that kind of stuff.
I get that. But I have a grave concern, I guess, just coming out of, yes, they abandoned the rule that the one thing that Gene Roddenberry had always said is these people would not fight amongst themselves. Yeah. That we had moved beyond that this was a optimistic future, not a pessimistic future. That you would not see Starfleet infighting, and the crews would, which you saw a little of that, that rule being skirted, Deep Space Nine and Voyager even to some extent, but even when you go back to Enterprise, there was never a lot of internal strife, and they have publicly announced that, oh, we're throwing this right out of the window.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, even though if you can't work within that rule, you may not have any business writing Star Trek, at least to a certain extent, because that still is the core basis of Star Trek. That yes, we have our ups and downs, but overall, we've progressed as a species. We've gotten better. We are looking for the positive things. I mean, that was always the thing about Star Trek. It wasn't a dystopian future. It was an optimistic future.
Yeah. No, it totally was. And I don't know, man. I just look at this, and there's nothing about it that really excites me. The Klingons look weird, which I really thought... I mean, even in Abrams' world, and I guess this might be an offshoot of Klingons, like a subgroup of them or something. But I mean, he at least made him look kind of badass in a way you really want Klingons to be. I mean, it's no Gowron stare.
No.
Which is just the best.
And I have no issue with where we were with, Next Generation, DS9 era Klingons. I don't think there's anything wrong with that look.
Yeah.
I don't think we needed to change.
Well, what I was going to say is, I mean, I was expecting an updated Enterprise.
Yeah.
For set and feel and stuff, not so much the J.J. Abrams solar, lens flares and the way I don't care that the inside of the ship looks better than the 1960s set that we barely had any money for.
Yeah,
that part doesn't bother me, but I mean it's just I look at the stuff on that show and I just okay.
But show it more like what you would expect to put together, 50 years from now. You're still going to have some switches. Mm-hmm. You're still going to have screens.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to have holograms. At least make it look something similar to something you're saying 10 years before Kirk and Spock. We went from holograms in the air to data cartridges and flip switches. Reconcile that just a little bit,
or make it look more like the bridge of one of the ships from Undiscovered Country.
Yes,
where that had a very militaristic feel to it, but it still had switches and stuff.
Or even what they did with Enterprise.
Yeah,
I had no issue. I mean, if you went halfway between there, I would have no issue with it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that show, but the trailer came out and it was a big you better be good.
Because I just feel like they've said, okay, we're making a new Star Trek show, but it's not really going to be Star Trek, and we're throwing this out, and we're doing this, and we're going to fly in the face of tradition, and it's like, are you making a Star Trek show or not?
No. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm still dubious. It's the first Star Trek show that I haven't been extremely excited about.
All I know is I got on Star Trek's Facebook and was watching the trailer, and then how they have the comments section. Mm-hmm. That thing got destroyed. People hated it. Mm-hmm. I think we've been pretty nice to it and explaining why. And so people were viciously mad about this. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, you read some of the comments. If I'm Star Trek, I'm, okay, maybe we don't want to do this. But all in all, man, I want something. I'm not gonna lie. I want something like Enterprise or, something that I'm used to. And if you want to put it, and I still think it's a dumb decision to put it before Kirk
and feature Sarek in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in the future, a little bit after, and then you can do whatever you want with the new uniforms that we've never seen before. The style of ship where it's like, oh, the bridge is on the bottom of the saucer section.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Do something we haven't seen before, where you don't have to worry about. We have to make this look right, because Kirk is 10 years away. Just.
The only thing that I am somewhat heartened by, and maybe just needs work, I don't know, but that Jonathan Frakes is directing at least one episode.
I saw that.
So, I mean, if he signed on to do it, maybe it's going to be better than what we're giving it credit for.
I hope so,
Or maybe
man.
he's just trying to figure out how to be in every single episode or every single series of Star Trek.
Let me ask you this: if they did a,
because he was in Next Generation, obviously,
Yep.
He played Thomas Riker in Deep Space Nine. He was in one of the episodes of Voyager,
Yep,
I think,
with the Q.
With the Q, and he did the last episode of Enterprise. So if he can figure out his way to get into Discovery, he's hit them all now.
Yeah, and he's directed all kinds of episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and LeVar Burton have done them.
Michael Dorn did quite a few as well, but I don't think he ever did any like Voyager. I think his was mostly just Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
I want a Star Trek that I know. I'm tired of this whole, hey, let's do it like J.J. Abrams and completely turn everything on its head. I just want I want a good Star Trek.
You want Star Trek?
Yeah. So, I don't know. Does that pretty much wrap it up?
Yeah, it's pretty much it. I'll just run down real quick. Kids stuff coming out this fall that I guess I'm looking forward to. DuckTales, the series, covered that. They're doing a Big Hero 6, which was a great movie.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that with kids. And I know my daughter someday will thank me for throwing this out. She's really looking forward to My Little Pony, the movie. So at some point this fall, I'm going to be like, well, just saw My Little Pony in the theater. Never thought I'd say that.
Yeah. And I slit my wrists.
You know what, though? John Delancey's been in that. William Shatner's guest starring in that. They've actually got... There are a lot worse things to watch on children's programming, honestly, than My Little Pony, I have to say.
All right.
As much as I never thought I'd say that. They even make some funny episodes from time to time.
All right. So. That's going to do it for this episode of 151. Please subscribe to our Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube channel. YouTube channel. We'd ask that you rate us as well. That'd be awfully kind of you. And follow us, like us, and share us.
Depending on how they rate us.
Yeah, exactly. If you rate us bad, don't ever come back here. Just stop watching. That's the easiest thing to do. If you want to say, hey, you're awesome, that's cool with me. Follow, like, and share us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr as well. We can't end without a shameless plug.
Cue the music!
All right, this is the part of the show where we shamelessly plug something, and I am going to take care of this today, and it's actually kind of a reverse shameless plug. I want to tell you not to watch something.
Oh, Lord.
Let me set this up. So the other night, I'm sitting around. I think it was, for me, recording this right now, it would have been maybe Friday night or something. But I'm flipping around Netflix. I've been watching a lot of Deep Space Nine again. I get on long series and just kind of go in between them. But anyways, I see something new pop up on Netflix. And come to find out, it's new to Netflix, but it's been around since, I want to say, 2013. But I want to tell you right now, do not waste your time with Extraordinary, the Stan Romanek story.
I've never heard of it.
Okay, Stan Romanek, I think that's how you say his name.
Okay.
It was a show about UFOs and UFO abductions.
Okay.
And this story about how this guy has this really long history with UFOs and weird things happening and the government being around and abductions. And I thought, oh, this is kind of interesting. And I start watching it, and I got it about 45 minutes into it. I'm like, this guy is such a fake. And I did a little research on it, and there's some people out there that have tried to debunk him. There's George Norrie, who hosts Coast to Coast AM, show about this kind of stuff, ufology and ghosts and conspiracy, that kind of thing. He had him take a polygraph test, which he failed. But they showed some of the videos that this guy captured, and there's one, it's called the Boo video. Stan Romanek Boo video. You can find it on YouTube. And it's him holding a camera, and it's night, and it's night vision, and it's on a window, and he's like, what's that? What's that? And from behind, or from the window, you see this, like, exactly what you think a gray alien should look like. Peek its head up.
Jesus.
And it kind of stays there for a second, and then it goes back down, and then it comes back up, and it goes back down, and then there's another video, and I can't remember what it was called, but it's like a gray, and it comes around the corner of his patio, and it's looking in. And let me preface it by saying that some of the stuff you got is actually kind of interesting. For a little bit, you're like, wow, this is weird stuff this guy's getting, especially the orb lights. That, like, one flies over his house and the security camera catches it. It's very well done.
Okay.
If it's not real, it's a very well done special effect. But anyways, then you watch these videos of these aliens coming around the corner, and it literally looks like someone takes the like a dummy of an alien and goes like this. Nice. And just pushes it around the corner. And for a UFO show, it was just bad. I'm giving it a bad review. But yeah.
Now, as a counterpoint to that, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I want to say it's undisclosed, but I'm not sure that's correct. There was a movie that was recently released that is fantastic, and it's narrated by the guy who was on Breaking Bad, the fried chicken guy. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And that's a guy. I think it's the Disclosure Project or something like that. And it's the guy who was trying to get a hold of John Podesta during that whole deal with the emails. When they were trying to meet up and all that stuff, and the guy actually. The guy actually knows his stuff. There's quite a little bit of interesting information there. Scientists and NASA and they've actually got a couple of people who are around Roswell who just straight up say that yes, we recovered bodies and here's what it is and no, there's layers of government that's buried and dumped, and that your elected officials know nothing about. They operate independently. There is no, it's just line items on a budget somewhere, and
in a lot of
the
ufology stuff, when they start talking about the government side of it, I'm having trouble with Google Chrome today for some reason. Basically, the president who you think would have the top level of clearance is not even close.
No.
So there's 50 levels above him or something crazy like that.
They're not going to tell a guy who's only going to be in and out of there for 4 years and maybe an electric crackpot.
Yeah.
So.
No, the Stan Romanek story, just pass on it.
Okay.
If you're into ufology and all that. It's produced kind of well and all this, and you see some of the stuff, but it's just... I was really disappointed, especially when they showed his videos. And I read one article that said him or somebody associated to do the special effects for this would be like $90,000 or $50,000. And someone came back and said I remade that video for like $90.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, kind of a goofy shameless plug, but it is what it is.
The reverse plug. Don't watch it.
So, all right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us. As I said, please subscribe to our Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube channel, and follow, and share us on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. That's going to do it for us. Have a good one.